Hi there, and welcome to another tutorial on how to make the more or less complex Fly the World system work with your flight. So we'll go over a few things, including how to put fuel in the aircraft and how to start the flight. So here we go. First thing you want to do is on the left-hand side, after signing in, find where it says Job Market. Select the job market. You'll be presented with this page here. At the top, if you're looking for a specific airline, drop down and look for that. We're looking for Delta, so we'll go ahead and find Delta in the list and highlight it. Otherwise, you can leave it as Show All and click the refresh button, and that will show you all the jobs available. So upon loading, we see here that Delta has two jobs on the board, one for the A320 Neo and another for the 737-800. So we will grab this one here for our demonstration. And after you see it and you see the price that you're being paid, etc., you'll click here for job offer. And as you can see, it's at the top of each one of these. Once we click on it, we get another redundant question up here. It says accept job offer. We'll select that, and it opens yet again a third window here. So we will select at the bottom accept job offer. Once that job offer is accepted, in the top right it'll say job assigned, have a great flight. And keep an eye on that because that will go away pretty quick, and there's no way to get it back. So always keep an eye on the right hand top corner. That's where any notifications will be shown. So we can close this down now. And the very next thing we want to do, after we take note of our passengers, 113 plus 17, is open the terminal, which is found here on the left-hand side. Once you select on the terminal, first thing you want to do is check your passengers. Make sure that the passengers are okay. Now I said 113 and 17, but that was actually for the A320 job. Our job is for the 737, so it had different payload. So at 96 and 36, we can carry another 14,700 kgs of fuel. Our zero fuel weight is 58.5. So when you get here and you confirm those numbers, the first thing you want to do, click Start Flight right here. Once you've started the flight, you'll get some more options, flight information, and abort flight. So if for any reason you need to start over the flight, or it didn't count because the fuel was incorrect, or any other issues, you come in here and you select abort flight and confirm it, and it'll start you back over at 0. As long as the job still has time before the deadline, you'll be able to start it again. So what we'd like to do is we'd like to transfer our stuff over to SimBrief, and so clicking this flight information button here will allow us to get this pop-up that allows you to transfer to SimBrief. Doing so, it will open SimBrief, and it does put in the information, but doesn't put everything in. So you still need the zero fuel weight, which is 58.5. Just punch that in here, 58.5. And the route. Now that's a pretty sickly route there. So what we're going to do is we're going to say it's at Kilo Mike Delta Tango to Charlie Yankee Yankee Z, and I have a batch file that opens all my flight software in one foul swoop. So we'll get this out of the way. We'll come back to this. This is the YACARS. We'll come back to that shortly. What we really want is little nav map. Okay, so little nav map on this search. Do Kilo Mike Delta Tango. And we'll set that as the departure. We'll search Charlie Yankee Yankee Z. Set that as the destination. Now a little bit more in preparation, what I like to do I like to figure out, okay, where am I actually going to come in at, and what is my runway going to be? So it looks like I'm coming in from this angle here, so I probably want to do 33 right. So I'll click here and choose Show Arrival Procedures, scroll down, I'll find ILS 33 right. I'll add that to my flight plan. As you can see now, comes right in and hits the approach. So to get the waypoints, we'll go ahead and calculate that. I don't need to go that high. Do 22,000 feet. We'll do calculate. This will get us our waypoints. Now, the route, pretty short, but it's set up. So we'll go to flight plan and then copy flight plan route description to the clipboard. Once that's copied, we'll go back over to our sim brief. And we'll paste the route in the defined section and analyze it. Looks good. So now we will generate the flight. While that's happening, I'll go ahead and kick open the simulator. Now our block fuel is 5710, right? 5,710. Go back to the fuel terminal and we want to click on fuel station. This is very important. So once you get your block fuel from SimBrief, you'll come back and you'll click here where it says fuel station or gas station or whatever. It's going to open another little window. Inside this window we're going to select Delta Fuel. There is none here, so if there's none there where you're selecting it, then select FTW oil. But if there is fuel, always select the Delta. So we need 5710, but we always want to put a little extra because the FlyTheWorld system is not exactly right with the real world values. So we'll do 6700. Now before I pay and fill up, and you notice I press the calculator here on the side, I want to see how much fuel can the aircraft handle before going over. Well, our fuel remaining is 14,701 kgs. We only need 6,700. There's already 5,025 in the aircraft. So we're going to pay for a very small amount here, 1.6 kilos, 1.675 kilos. That will bring us up to exactly where we need to be and still have a lot of room left over. Now it's important not to exceed this amount here. If you do, you'll need a manager's approval to defuel the plane before you're able to depart. You will be too heavy. Maximum takeoff weight will be exceeded. So we're going to click Pay and Fuel Up, and you'll see that the fuel remaining decremented where the fuel weight is at 6,700. So you're now done with this portion here. You can minimize it, and then you can open up your Yakars. This here. Now personally, I like to, in the directory of the Yakars, you'll find Yakars for Microsoft Flight Simulator. If you are using Microsoft Flight Simulator, I encourage you to use this link to open up Yakars, as it will open up the YASA connector and Yakars at the same time. And so this here is the connector that connects Yakars to Microsoft and follows pretty much everything you do. Just minimize it, get it out of your way. Here on Yakars, make sure that your pilot call sign is put in, your password. Personally, I have check payload unchecked for other reasons. You may have it checked. If you ever have problems getting your weight correct, you can just click there to uncheck this. Make sure that you are using XP-UDP and not FSUIPC, even if you have FSUIPC installed. Clicking on the Flight Plan tab, since we did our fuel and started our flight in the terminal, we're now able to get our flight plan from FTW. So here it shows our aircraft, our tail number, our destination and our departure, our fuel and our payload. So just put this off to the side for now and prepare the aircraft. Boeing 737-800. Now even if I was to put in the fuel here, 6,700, it will not transpose back to the ground. You'll see as we get out there. So this looks good, everything looks right. I'm going to load my flight plan. the one that I created from SimBrief. I'm going to select okay, that's better. We'd like to take off on runway 31, but it's not giving us that option. So I will put this as direct for Toronto. I'll put ILS 33 right, because that's what we decided on in our flight plan. Okay. This has us taking off from 13, but we'll just take off from 31 anyway. Once that's done, everything looks right here. I like to check to make sure that the time of day is correct. And let me get rid of these dev tools. Okay. Clicking fly now. Now, if your LRM client shows disconnected, you'll want to exit your LRM client, right-click and choose Run as Administrator. What this means is that your LRM was started, or excuse me, your FSU IPC was started with administrator privileges. And in order for them to talk to each other, they both have to be on the same level. So now, you'll see it is connected. Okay. So for this here, I like to go into Route Planner, Fetch from SimBrief, Set Active, and then cancel that out. So now that will prepare FS Hub for displaying my flight plan. In the aircraft, it has started in an already started state. So what I will do is I will load cold and dark GPU and execute. Okay, now everything is off as it should be. This is the way that aircraft should be when you first come in. To start the FMC, you'll hold menu. For the startup state, I will choose cold and dark GPU and execute. So now I'll start up next time in that state. We'll put our 6,700 kgs of fuel on. Now what that does is it takes our Yakars and gives us green for the fuel. And once that's green, we can select start flight. What I like to do, you don't have to do this, is click status bar, minimize this, and then now you have up here flight tracking is running. It tells you your fuel used, your fuel on board, and the percentage of completion for your trip. Once this is done here, then you're ready to configure your aircraft and take off. Just keep in mind that you cannot refuel once you start tracking. If for some reason you need to restart your flight, or any reason it shows in the log that it was refueled or it's not going to count or something like that, you can always click reset flight. Resetting the flight will put you back to nothing. You'll have to select get flight plan again, which we're still at the right fuel, so we can click start, and our flight tracking is running. Now if you needed to pause, take a break for any reason, You can do that by pausing the sim. Now, when you get to the end of your flight, you will select End Flight, which will be lit up here, and select End Flight. Once you end the flight, then these two options, drop-downs, will be eliminated. Go to select from the departure terminal, Delta, and then from the arrival terminal, Delta. Once those are selected in both Delta, then you just click Bill the flight. Then you'll get paid, and you go to the next flight. One note before we go is sometimes FlyTheWorld does not release the aircraft. So once you've done all this, it's a good rule of thumb to come over to the hangar, select the little dice here, and tell you which aircraft you have in your rental. So at that point in time, select it, and click End Rent. Once you do that, that'll free it up for the dispatcher to create a new job for it and for it to continue on its route. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you soon. If you have any questions, please ask us in the Discord.